What's up, YouTube? Jay Hen back with another video. Y'all gotta excuse my camera. It's cracked right where the video screen at. It's a crack right at the top of it. But anyway, I'm out here in Leroy, Illinois, at the Love Truck Stop. I just did my 34-hour reset. I got another 45 minutes. Headed to Mount Pleasant, Iowa, about 185 miles away. About 3 hours and some change. So I was gonna leave today, but thinking about it, I'll just leave in the morning, probably about 5 o'clock. And had a really rough week last week. Oh man, I caught hell. Started off late. I should have left on Memorial Day. I went to St. Paul, Minnesota, leaving St. Louis, but I didn't read the total rate-com. They said you can't get unloaded except on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I ended up leaving Tuesday morning. Had my daughter with me, and after all that carnage and bad news about them kids in Texas, I was like, oh well, they're gonna have to wait. But anyway, I got unloaded out there Tuesday. Actually, it was Wednesday morning. And from there, I picked up in, is it Eau Claire, Wisconsin, at the Menards Distribution Center. And that's when everything started going downhill. So I get to the Menards Distribution Center, and anybody ever been to one of these distribution centers, it's like a small city. You gotta go park. Well, you gotta check in at the gate. They tell you where to go, give you a map. You gotta go here, wait. I waited 3 hours, only 2 trucks ahead of me. They had one guy on the forklift doing the loading. So that was 3 hours. So he put some material on my truck, had to strap that down, go around the block, back on the main street to another gate, go to another gate, get loaded up some more. That was another 2 hours. So at this time, I think I had about 2 hours of drive time left. So once he got me loaded, and everything's uneven. Everything is uneven. Oh, it was horrible. But anyway, so I'm ready to roll. Get that strap down, I'm ready to go. So before you leave, you gotta go scale out. And they got one of those short scales where they gotta weigh your steer tires, weigh your drive tires, weigh one axle at a time on your trailer, weigh the other axle. So I go in, I think I was at, altogether my truck at the low was at 72,000 pounds. So I'm ready to roll. I get in the office to get my paperwork. They say, oh, you got to go back to reload. We want to put some more weight on you. I'm like, man, okay. I'm really frustrated, but I kept my composure. Go back to reload. They don't know what to do. They don't know what weighs what. So anyway, the young guy, I'm not mad at him. I'm just kind of upset at the way that the system is designed out there. So he get me loaded, and I get strapped back down. So I'm right at 78,000 pounds total with the truck and the weight. So now I got maybe an hour. So I take off. I think the nearest truck stop was maybe about 40 minutes away. And woke up in the morning, checked my load, everything looked good. And I took off that morning and drove about 100 miles, and I noticed, I'm like, man, this load, I'm looking at my rearview mirror on my driver's side, and I'm looking on my passenger side. This little, my load don't look right. It didn't look the same. So I pulled over at a Love's. It was time for me to get fuel anyway. And when I get out, when I say my load shifted, it shifted about maybe 6 to 8 inches on the passenger side. And I'm like, oh man, this ain't good. This is not good at all. I'm contemplating. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I gotta get this load readjusted. Make a long story short, I ended up calling the safety department, the maintenance guys, and we decided, well, I knew I wasn't gonna move, so we was gonna get this load restacked correctly. So it took another 6 hours. That was about 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, just when it's getting daylight. And finally about 12:30, close to 1 o'clock, we got a guy on the forklift and readjusted the load. By then, I was just kind of totally just frustrated with the whole trip, just that particular trip. So, got that reloaded, took off, and that delivered in, where that deliver? Delivered in Jeffersonville, Ohio. I think they call it Washington Courthouse, Ohio. I was so glad to get that load off. So that threw my whole trip planning off for the week. So I started off with 4,100. I think that load paid 17. So I'm like, man, I'm behind. I'm way behind. Revenue behind time. Now it's Thursday, and it took forever. I got a new dispatch. My man Dan, he ended up having some family issues, so he left. I think he'll be back later on in the fall. And I got a new dispatch. I ain't gonna say his name right off, but I don't know if he knew. But I called him when I was on my way to Jeffersonville to let him know, hey man, start finding me a load. I'm ready to roll. I'm behind. I need some more revenue. So it took him to about 1:30, 2 o'clock. This is after I got to the Menards Distribution Center in Ohio to get unloaded. So once I got unloaded, he still ain't found a load. So and it was a pilot up the street with a Denny. So I went in and ate. He still ain't found a load. So he calling me. And the loads, I don't know, he just couldn't secure the loads. He couldn't get the loads, the paperwork in time. So finally found me this load I got now, which I had to drive 50 miles, but it took an hour and a half to get there because once you get off the highway, you have to drive another 20 miles through all these small towns, which everybody knows a bunch of stoplights, this and that. It's kind of, had to be there before 4:30, so I got there right about 4 o'clock and got loaded. But the good thing about Nova Lines, even with getting that load readjusted, that was $946. So they took that, they're gonna charge that to my maintenance account, which won't come out my revenue this week. And another good thing is that if you feel your revenue is short and you want to make some more money, they will let you deliver your load on Monday and put it on the same payroll that's supposed to be in on Friday. So I think as of tomorrow, once I drop this load off, I think I was at 58. I should be at about maybe 78, 60. I didn't get all the math. But anyway, it wasn't the best week last week, but you got to take the good with the bad. I'm not complaining. I'm just, giving an update, let you know it ain't going to always go your way. You're going to have problems. You just got to work it out and, maintain and keep it moving. But anyway, we're going to start this week off right. I think tomorrow after I drop this off, I already discussed with my new dispatch about a load. I think we're picking up 30 miles. I think it's some PVC pipe going to Georgia. So I think that was paying 34. We'll see tomorrow. I hope you can secure that early. And I can take off early. I think I'm going to stop by the house in St. Louis to swap out some clothes. Take care of a little small business I got to take care of. And take off. I might just spend maybe a couple hours there and maybe 3 hours and still get enough time to make up some miles. I might stop in Kentucky somewhere, Tennessee. I know that St. Louis to Georgia route with my eyes closed. So anyway, I ain't gonna hold y'all. It's Sunday. I'll take off in the morning. And it's gonna get hot. Everybody better stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, Gatorade, watch the people around you. They on their phones, they ain't paying attention. Everybody know when it get hot, attitudes get a little crazy, tempers get a little shorter. So everybody got to be careful. God bless. See you in the next video.